Hi, I'm Gaurav. Biotech innovator Hashi Gaili recently detailed his groundbreaking Ectolife technology that enables the creation of 30,000 children externally from a mother's womb. According to Hashim, with this technology, they will be able to deliver 30,000 babies simultaneously in such pods outside the mother's womb. And despite having so many fetuses together, the facility will allow you to particularly track your child's health. Moreover, Mr. Al-Gaili has ensured you can feel your baby's movements. With this technology, you'll be able to sense your baby's kicks from home as they grow. In fact, to acquaint him with your voice, you have the option to sing a song that will play live for him. Unbelievable, right? But hold on. The most shocking part of this is that this entire revolutionary concept started ironically with a superstition. The tale unfolds in 1500 AD, with Swiss physician Paracelsus claiming that only two elements are needed to create a child outside a woman's womb. Some use human sperm and some use horse dung. Yes, you heard that right. Horse manure is manure. Paracelsus believed that just like we sprinkle water on the seeds after sowing them, in the same way, if human sperms and horse dung are mixed and drops of blood are sprinkled on it, then a child will be born within about 40 days. And actually, these types of superstitions were so prevalent in those days.
Until 1600, even scientists viewed a woman's charm as a deceptive snare. The thinking of the scientists of that time was that sperms are actually thousands of tiny humans that keep floating here and there in the semen, and the woman's body is a vessel in which those sperms grow into a baby. Now, in such a situation, suppose if for some reason miscarriages start increasing a lot, then what will a common man think? Well, obviously that vessel is cursed, right? Now, this mentality was a very good answer to explain the miscarriages that were happening rampantly at that time. So this was the reason that people finally started feeling that their children are not safe in a woman's womb. And if we want to save children, they will have to be raised outside the womb. In short, you can see in which direction his thinking was going. But then many years later, in 1923, British biologist J.B.S. Halden published his science novel Dale Jealous. In this novel, he created a fictional story about two imaginary scientists named DuPont and Schwartz. The ovaries of a woman who died in a plane accident in 1951 are kept alive in a nutrition medium for the next 20 years, and then every month they try to produce babies artificially by fertilizing the eggs obtained from those ovaries with some human sperm. Now, this novel was very interesting, and it is said that it was literally speculated in this novel that DuPont and Schwartz would eventually achieve a success rate of almost 90% in their ectogenic experiments, due to which, by the year 1968, France becomes the first country which starts producing 60,000 children annually with the help of this technology. Now, ultimately, whatever was written in this book was a story, right? A novel. But how could Javius Haldane know that exactly 100 years after this novel, Ectolife technology is about to be born that will allow babies to grow exactly the way they predicted in the novel, outside the womb? But this technology did not develop so quickly, even after 100 years. In fact, the way the children are going to be grown in the actual life facility is based on the world's first successful but very weird ectogenesis experiment performed in the year 1996, which was done by killing at least 13 goats. In this experiment, basically scientists took 14 fetuses of goats and kept them in the amniotic fluid of their mother. After doing this, it is said that within a few weeks those scientists had successfully delivered at least one goat. So what then? Mr. Hashim Al-Gaili conceptualized this process for humans and presented Ectolife facility to the world. He thought that in his facility, thousands of such pods would initially work like an artificial worm, and then they will be filled with artificial amniotic fluid to provide the baby with growth and an infection-free environment. This is because amniotic fluid is basically made up of a mixture of water present in the mother's body and the baby's urine, and that is why with its help the baby gets some essential growth factors, hormones and antibodies from the mother. But as you can see, the water present in the mother's body is very important for the amniotic fluid, and to solve this problem, the founder of Ectolife thought of replacing this water with lactate ringer solution. The composition of lactate ringer solution and the water present in the human body is exactly the same, because of which doctors also recommend it when there is a deficiency of water and electrolytes in the body. Well, in these pods, along with this artificial amniotic fluid, many machinery will also be connected, which will continuously monitor your baby. Yes, as per Ectolife concept, first of all, 360-degree cameras in every pod will keep an eye on the baby day and night.
And through these, all the small and big changes taking place in your child's body will be regularly available on your smartphone in the form of a time-lapse video. Plus, if you suppose you want your baby to recognize you immediately after 9 months, then every individual pod of Ectolife will also have some surround speakers, through which you will be able to introduce your baby with your own voice, as well as your favorite song playlist. And lastly, regarding monitoring the baby's vital sciences, 3 types of sensors will be attached to the baby and the pod. First, a bioimpedance sensor, which will measure the amount of water and muscle mass in the baby's body by passing a weak current. Second, like a watch, it will measure the oxygen level of the child's body. If everything is found to be normal, then it is fine. But if anything is found to be wrong, then an AI-controlled scanner will immediately scan both the body defects and the DNA problem behind it. Basically, the idea is that before placing each child in the pod, the DNA data of that child's parents and all genetic disorders will be loaded into the AI system of that pod. After this, the work of that AI is basically to continue matching the DNA of every new cell of that child with its parents. And wherever it feels that a disease-causing gene is getting replicated instead of the normal DNA segment, it has to immediately pick up an appropriate gene from the stock of healthy DNA and fit it there. Because the sooner it identifies and repairs the defective one, the more chances will increase that the generation of cells born after that cell will be born healthy. Interesting, right? Well, what's more interesting is that you can see that I have particularly talked only about genetic disorders, not about ordinary diseases or infections. This is because those things occur majorly due to lack of nutrition and unhygienic environment. And the preventive solution to all this is going to be present in the structural design of Ectolife itself. According to the design of Ectolife, all the plants will be connected to 2 large tanks present in the center. One nutrition tank which will distribute nutrients, oxygen and other essential fluids, fogs, and the other waste management tank which will collect and recycle the waste coming from the baby. These 2 tanks will basically be connected to each pod through large pipes, and then further to the baby's navel through artificial umbilical cords present in the pods. What will happen is that first it will start getting collected in the waste tank through the nutrition in baby's digestive system, and then as soon as these waste products accumulate in large quantity, they will be recycled through enzymatic recycling technique and will again be put into the nutrition tank. Basically, the idea is that there is a bacteria called Bacillus, whose at least 5 different species will anaerobically break down urine food and feces into small particles by secreting protease, amylase, and many other enzymes without the requirement of oxygen, and then use those particles for their own growth, leaving behind only clean water and oxygen. That means with their help, the baby will develop in a safe and secure environment at all times. And once the development is complete, it can be taken out with just a simple button press. Quite fascinating, right? Well, I would not say so much. Because forget about giving birth to a child. Despite having mastered animal tissue culture, scientists have not yet been able to create a functional organ outside the body. Look, the main problem is that unlike plants, just providing nutrients to animal cells is not enough. The proper ratio of those nutrients also matters a lot for perfect development, and this is the biggest problem of Ectolife. It will supply the child with all essential nutrients needed for fetal development, including folic acid, iron, zinc, DHA, and iodine. But till now, no doctor or scientist knows what should be the relative quantity of all these for fetal growth. If by mistake the concentration of even one nutrient becomes high, like let's just say folic acid, then excessive folic acid alone can impair the oxygen-carrying capacity of baby's blood cells and the thinking and understanding ability of the brain cells. In fact, the way in which oxygen supply is talked about in this whole process through nutrition tank is itself problematic for the development of a child, because as you all know, it is oxygenic gas, and it does not dissolve easily in liquid. Its dissolution basically depends on how much liquid weighs above its molecules. The more the weight, the more the pressure, and the more the pressure, the better the dissolution. Now don't you see a problem in such a system? As the nutrition tank gets empty, the pressure on the oxygen molecules will decrease, and they will start accumulating in the upper layers of the tank in the form of gas. This means that now every drop that carries nutrition to the baby will have less and less oxygen concentration over time, and this can cause the baby to suffocate. Now see, this can definitely happen. They have already thought about solutions, because this entire technology is in the concept stage. But for now, whatever details they have revealed about their conceptual facility, no such solution has been mentioned in it. Because another problem in this can be that this oxygen problem may have a direct effect on the formation of RBCs of those children, and such a blood group type may develop, which is very rare and dangerous. Yes, oxygen is also a reason behind many abnormal and unique blood groups, but apart from this, there are many other very interesting reasons on which we have made a video. You can click on this video and check it out. Also, if you learned something new from this video, please give it a like. Subscribe to Get Supply Science channel now and press the bell and diption so that you cannot see any of our upcoming videos.